All right, guys, so you want to airbrush. Okay, there's some basic things you need to know before you can start wielding this thing. Okay, I'm going to use my gravity-fed Iwata. Okay, I think it's an Iwata Eclipse. Okay, again, you know, these are very similar. We do use these in chips away. People use it for doing small work, but most of the time it's for artwork and fun stuff, and you can get into when you get into custom painting using this. There's a right way and a wrong way to hold these. I'm going to show you kind of left-handed. Now, I'm a right-handed person, so I'm going to show you left-handed just how you're holding it. So again, you're going to pinch it with your middle finger and your thumb. Okay, for me, you know, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to pinch it like this. I'm going to grab it, I'm going to pinch it. Okay, and here, you know, when you push the trigger down, it's air. Okay, nothing but air coming out of here, and you pull back. The more you pull back, the more paint comes out. Okay, so that's how you control how much paint comes out of this thing. Okay, you don't have to death grip this thing and use your thumb and everything else. Just nice and relaxed. Hold it in there almost kind of like a pencil. Okay, and just nice and relaxed. And sometimes you just rock your finger just a little bit. Okay, so you rock your finger. So again, this is gravity feed one, and honestly, you know, this is water-based paints. You know, this is probably a better one. You can get cheaper ones at like, you know, Packet Pans isn't no more, but some of the craft stores will have paints, airbrush paints, the water-based. In all honesty, you can do this down in your basement. It will stain clothes, but it's water cleanup, soap and water. So I have a bucket of water right here. Just dip the gun in the water and just clean it out. Okay, so I'm actually going to do a couple things. So first, get a feel for it, pinch it, and just kind of operate the gun a little bit here and there. Just to kind of get a feel for it, okay? So just here, just kind of get used to it. Everything should be working freely. This gun hasn't been cleaned in a while, so it's not working the freest, okay? So, and again, just as, you know, on any spray gun, distance makes a difference. But on a spray gun, you have one set pattern, okay? It's circular pattern. The closer you are, the tighter it is. The further away, the bigger it gets, because it blows out like a cone, okay? So it blows out like a cone, so it comes out of your airbrush, okay, like this, kind of like a cone. So the closer you are, the smaller it is, and the further away you are, the bigger it is, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some simple things, some simple exercises that I do to this day. I've been airbrushing for a while, so we're going to do a few. And actually, again, gravity feed gun, I'm just going to put a little bit of paint in here, and this is black. It's a good, you know, I got a white piece of paper. It shows up real good. Okay. Make sure your lid's on. Now you can use the siphon feed one. This one just happens to be what I grabbed. Okay. Again, further away, just to show you. Let me zoom this. Let me bring the camera in a little bit closer. Okay. To make sure I can see everything. All right. So the further away you are, it makes a big fuzzy circle. I'm going to get closer. Pull it away, and makes a tiny dot. Okay, so I know you can't really see that dot, but trust me, it's there. Okay, so some of the exercises you want to do, once you get to here, play with it and see where it's at. You're going to sit and play and play and play. Okay, now we'll move over here. So some of the exercises, again, that I do every single time before I start airbrushing. I don't get in there and start doing this and that, because like anything else, it takes practice. Okay, it takes a lot of practice to be able to do some cool pictures. Now, you know, I'm going to do some of these videos and lead you guys up into some basic shadowing, and, you know, giving it a 3D effect. You know, so, but again, there you have to do these warm-up exercises, just like we're welding, just like we're painting a car, just like we're doing body work. Okay, it's muscle memory. It's all muscle memory. Okay, so you're going to get in there. So honestly, here, and you're going to be practicing distance. You know, use your other hand as a guide to help keep that distance. You can be here. If you're back here, you can come back here. That's fine. If you want to come close, use your hand so you don't drive the tip of the airbrush into the whatever it is you're painting. So here, I'm just going to pull the trigger back a little bit. Well, actually, let's make it a little. I'm going to make bigger dots. Try to pull back and try to be consistent on the dots. Don't pull it back real far like that. Okay, so you want to try to be consistent. When you guys first start out, you're going to be all over the place with this thing. Okay, so again, when we get closer, I'm going to make some small dots. Again, pulling back the same amount of paint, making some small dots. Try to keep them all relatively the same size. Okay, the other thing, you might have to clean the tip off a little bit, just wipe it, be careful, this is very sharp. Okay, I'm gonna pull the gun back, I'm gonna pull the same size, same amount of paint. Again, all my dots are the same size, okay? And you wanna go back and forth. You wanna kind of get used to that. So you can come in here, you can go here, 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 you know, kind of get back a little bit further, and you're pulling back the same amount of paint, and then you're gonna work your way in tighter and tighter and tighter. So you can do that a couple hundred times. Yeah, you're gonna be doing a lot of practicing. Getting the dots. Okay, once you get the dots, okay, if you get a lot of dots together, okay, so do this. This is the next exercise. Okay, again, I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of dots, whole bunch of dots, whole bunch of dots. Try to keep them all the same size. This tip's also bent on this airbrush, so it doesn't spray as good. Okay, so I'm doing a whole bunch of dots, and there's a reason why I'm doing it like this. One, you can see consistency, and two, you're gonna find out. Okay, so the dots, you got your dots down. You got it pretty good. You can control the dots. Okay, you know, right away everyone's gonna come in here and make all these little crazy designs. But practice, if you wanna learn it, practice it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, we gotta learn lines. So one of the biggest things in airbrushing is dots, daggers, lines, dots, daggers, lines, dots, daggers, lines, dots and daggers, dots and daggers, dots and daggers, dagger stroke, dagger stroke, dagger stroke. So what a dagger stroke is, it's just simply put, okay, again, I'm gonna try to get this, move over here just a little bit for now, get this a little bit closer. And again, you don't need a lot of air pressure with this, but a dagger stroke. So first off, you don't wanna go here, pull, start, release. Okay, you end up with these things called balls of death on the end. Okay, that's not a dagger stroke. Okay, dagger stroke is just that. You're moving on and off. Okay, so you come in here, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. So you see his nice tapered ends. They call them dagger stroke because it ends in a point. Okay, so once you get that down, okay, there's a lot of different, there's some other techniques. I'm just showing you some very basic ones. Once you get that dagger stroke down, so you sit there, you might do a couple hundred of them. Not a big deal, on, off. You can come in here and do real nice tight ones, little tiny skinny ones, big fat ones. Okay, big fat ones. Okay, as you can see, that's the same amount of paint. It's just my distance controls everything. Okay, so the closer you are, the tighter it gets, the further away, the fuzzier it gets. Okay, one thing about airbrushing, fuzzy to tight, dark to light. Okay, so you don't come in here and do a hard line and then try to come in here and fuzz it out. It works backwards. Okay, fuzzy to tight, and then you go dark to light, light being a highlight color. Okay, so once you get all that done, okay, there's something else it's kind of called, I'm gonna move it down. Again, I'm showing you some very basic exercises to get you started. So you got your lines down, you can blow out a dagger stroke, no problem, right? So now here's an exercise. It's the ladder, dagger stroke using a ladder technique using dagger stroke, sorry. So you're gonna go down, you're gonna make a vertical ladder. Again, hopefully your gun's not gonna hiccup. And mine's kind of hiccuping in here. So no big deal. Okay, again, this gun hasn't been cleaned. Okay, so I made 2 vertical lines. Now your dagger stroke, this is gonna help you start and stop, start and stop. And at first, you're gonna be off the wall a little bit. And even when I warm up, if I haven't done it for a while, I'm off of it a little bit. It's a timing technique. So you're gonna be here, you're gonna start here, you're gonna move, you're gonna come on, off, on, off, on, off. And that's okay if you're out of the range a little bit. Don't come in here and go on, off. You end up with the balls of death. You gotta keep it moving, okay? Here, on, off, on, off, okay? So as I finish this up, okay, again, it's just kind of helping you with the timing. And you can get in here and make finer lines if you wish. Again, distance controls the fatness and the thickness of your line. Okay, now this airbrush, this is probably a higher end airbrush. You can get them at Harbor Freight, about 30 bucks. You're gonna get a dual action airbrush, which was what the gravity fed, or the siphon feed one I showed in the other video. And you get an airline, you get a braided line. Get a braided line. Don't use, this plastic line it comes with works. It's not that good. So you got your timing down, your ladder, You know, there's other exercises if you want to do your timing. There's a V ladder. Okay, so you're going to use a V ladder. So the same rules apply. It's just going to get, you start wide. Okay. And as you go, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and so forth. Okay, that's another exercise. Okay, so once you get that down, we're going to come back to this one. This exercise here. And guys, this is like a super crash course on the airbrush. Okay, I'm gonna make sure you can see that. I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger for you. That way you can kind of see it a little bit better. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger so you can see what I'm going to do. So this, just like anything else, you have to be able to go left, right, top to bottom, corner to corner, all different directions when you're airbrushing. Okay, you're never going to be able to spin something around in any kind of a circle. So I made some bigger dots to kind of blow this up a little bit for you. Okay, this is like a, almost, I don't know if you call it checkerboard. But now what you want to do is you want to connect the dots in different directions. So let's say here, I'm going to come down here, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go from that dot to that dot. I'm going to go back, I'm going to go up, down, up, okay? And you continue that through, up. And you come over here, you go down, up, down, up. And try to constantly keep that dagger stroke, okay? So you got that. Now I'm going to connect, you know, this end here. I'm going to go from that way. And I'm going to go left to right to left, left to right, right to, come on. Right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right, right to left, left to right. And you don't have to do it this way. You can mix it up. Okay. And now you still got to connect these. So we're going to go bottom to top, bottom to top, bottom to top, bottom to top, and stuff like that. Again, you can just do more and more and more. This is like the no sign or whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely a good exercise. You can go in different directions, however you want to do it. You know, but the biggest thing is learning how, and as you can see how it's getting wider. That's because I'm getting some paint build up on there. And again, this tip is bent a little bit. The airbrush honestly is kind of dirty. Okay, so I'm going all kinds of different directions just to get myself practice in different directions. Okay, so in a sense, that's, you know, airbrushing 101 right there. Okay, so when we get into, you know, doing more airbrushing, we'll get into shadowing and everything else, making an image look three-dimensional. If you want to get started, that's how you need to get started. A little air compressor, a little pancake air compressor. You can get little bottles of air, which I'm going to tell you, those little bottles there, they don't last. It's a little can, about that big can of air. It doesn't last that long, okay? You know, again, Harbor Freight, don't spend $150, $200 on an airbrush if you're not going to do it or not really into it. Start off cheap. You can go to the hobby stores, you can get Pache, you can get this kind. I mean, I like the Awadas personally. The Harbor Freight Chicago pneumatics, they work. You know, they work pretty good. So, again, dots, daggers, you know, the lines, the dagger, stroke, okay? So, you got a few basic things that you need to pay attention to on how to learn how to do it. You get this stuff down, the dots, the daggers, and your timing, and, you know, you're on your way. Okay, so I am going to do more videos of these guys. Again, basic 101, starting out the airbrush. Basic airbrush. You don't have to buy a big expensive one. And when you're done, you know, if you have any paint left over, okay, which I do have a little bit of paint left over, you know, this is non-reduced. I dumped it straight in here. I could dump it straight back in here. Disconnect it from your airline first. You don't have to, I guess. Just be careful when you're dumping it back in. Just dump it back in. Make sure you cap it. Okay, I like to just kind of like blow some of the paint out. Again, and just kind of show you here. Move the camera back a little bit more. Just a simple bucket of water. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put the head of the spray gun in there, and I'm just going to collect up some paint. and then some I'm gonna run clean water. You can use soapy water to kind of clean it out. You know, it helps clean it out or break down the paint a little bit. Okay, nothing wrong with that. A little bucket of water, okay? All right, guys, catch you later.